Okay, guys, anybody would like to show their contributions? Like we haven't merged a lot of pull requests since last week, but if this week, by the way, technically I'm on vacation. That's why sorry for some delays in pull requests processing. But considering that there are some amount of open pull requests, you can show the pull request that is still not merged. If you would like to just show it or discuss something in relation to it.
I think I can just report, not showing, but report the current progress.
Okay, go ahead.
1 second, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm working on introducing the media content API and media content related modules. So currently, just I'm in the maybe just in the middle of the process, and will provide the pull request sooner because just I had some technical stuff I had to do also, and yeah, so this is issued in progress, and I plan to finish it this week. So we'll provide the base module, requested functionality, and database structure. Also, just like a small report, I continue work on preparing the unit test coverage pull request for things I implemented previous month related to the media gallery. So, yep, maybe that's all.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Shankar, you seem to create a lot of pull requests recently. And actually, I wanted to discuss a couple with you, but yeah, it will be good if you can show the demo as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I will share my screen. Guys, can you see my? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I will basically start with the pull request that I merged. I think I just missed the. I am also missed the previous meeting, so I haven't demoed the previous pull request. So I'll start with this. Possible to open the several sign-in Adobe ID. So basically, in this pull request, your user can open as many as Adobe Stock login window after clicking on sign in or license image button. So basically, I fixed so if a user wants to open a new window, so programmatically I close the previous one before opening the new one. So I will show a quick demo here. So if user clicks on sign in window, and as you can see, it's another window which is open. So if user tries to click, so it will close the previous window and just show the error of the previous window authentication was closed, and it opens a new window. So basically this was the pull request which is merged, and I have implemented interface, HTTP action interface for all the controllers in the Adobe Stock module. So basically this PR will enhance the security for the controllers, because controller must accept the particular actions like get, post, or actions to perform the which perform in the controller. So basically I added the action, implemented the action interface for all the modules. So just I will show the code. So we just implemented the HTTP post action interface to another security, just because callback is using the post action. So we just implement the post action interface. If we add a get action interface, then we will get the 404 error for the controller. So it will pretty enhance the security. Same with the other controllers, which is used in our Adobe Stock module. And fix a code sniffer issue, which is okay. So that I guess from the previous, and currently in progress. I picked the issue from the grooming, ready for the grooming. Sorry for that, but I also find this issue. So I was going to make a PR, and Anton Chalau, sorry for the pronunciation of the name. He opened this issue, and we have fixed this issue. Like if there is no image, no related images like model from more from series or model, so there will be no extra space for the more related images, which is shown in the issue here. So basically, actual result was that there is some extra spaces regarding for the related images, because there is no related image for this particular image. So this is the final result. If I could find, yeah, this is the image. So it's check for if there is a more from series or more from model. Okay, so currently we are getting this more from series and more from model. So we are getting this related image section. But previously there is a blank space, as you can see here. Here in the result, I also find in couple of the images, but finally we fixed it, and somehow currently now showing the more from series and more from model for the same image. We found the issue.
I have a question.
Yeah,
about this
and
one,
yeah.
So as I remember, we added this empty space to be present when images are loading, just to prevent the UI jump when the images are finally loaded. So what I wanted to ask you if that empty space with the loader is present when images are loading, and if no images are loaded, then it collapses, right? It disappears. Or have you tested the case when
there are no images? Yeah, if there are no images, then the whole area will not display here, as I added the screenshot.
Okay, but while we are loading the images, do we still have that empty space, the area?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Well, in case you will open the new image, you will expand the preview for the image that is not loaded yet, and while the request for related images is still going, do we display the space?
Yeah, at that time there is some just like more from this series and more from this model, and just after the request is finished and we don't get any images, then just then this section will be hidden, as we have added condition is visible, I guess. Yeah. So basically is visible. Here we have added a condition. Basically, I'll just show the pull request code. So it's basically the same thing. We are checking if the more from series and more from model is checked. If it's if we have in the array, or otherwise we'll just hide it. I just use the same code, show series tab, which is already we have created this function, and just same code. So show series tab and show model tab, which is the same as when we don't have any images related to model or related to series. So we just hide basically hide that part. So I check both the conditions. If we have both. If we get both the empty, then we just hide this section.
Okay, so if we are if the related images are still null, and so we are still waiting for the response with the related images, we are showing the empty space, and then after the images are loaded, if there are no images, only in that case we are hiding the empty space, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I will also find. I will also find an image which don't have which do not have any mode from series or mode from model, and I will send you a video or attach the video to the pull request, so we can we will get to the same page. Yeah.
I see. There is no need in the video, actually. Yeah, I've seen this pull request. I just wanted to check this exact scenario before merging it in. Yeah, so I will surely check it. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Another pull request is attempt to license image the second time if user is not logged in initiating the license. Okay. So basically, we are getting the. I will do a demo. Or just let me explain first. Okay. So basically, in this PR, where we will get the license quota box or dialog box in which message will be appeared that you will use one license image, even if the license is imaged if the image is licensed outside the Adobe Stock Integration or before the logged in. So I will show the quick demo of this issue, but I will can display only the issue. I don't think I have checked out that branch in my local yet. So, but I can show this issue. And basically, I checked that if the image is already loaded, if already licensed, then it just skip the license part. Okay, so basically, it will take sometimes, I think, because I need to find an image with the license label. I think I will give a proper demo in the next PR, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, and another pull request is the virtual type that we have discussed, yeah, I think in the couple of meetings before. Yeah, virtual type is introduced for the option provider. So I just introduce a virtual type instead of actual class, and I think we can use like that. I'm not sure though, but it's just initial implementation for the virtual type for the option provider. So guys, can you please check and let me know if you have any feedback regarding this pull request?
I actually wanted to spend some time discussing that because I have one idea, one suggestion. But first, I'm not sure. Maybe that's my connection here, or does it? Just want to check with you guys. Do you see the screen is kind of zoomed? No, is it okay?
No, me.
Like
no.
Yeah.
And right now I'm seeing just white space on the screen.
No, it's not. Not that zoom.
Do you see the code? No.
Yes, I do. I was going to suggest.
Okay,
what if you?
That's my problem.
There is a slider, like a content that allows you.
Yeah, just a moment. Yeah. Now, are you able to see the code?
Oh yeah, it looks like I'm seeing the left side of the screen without the
right side. Yes. Yeah.
But that's okay because I can open this pull request on my browser, so I don't need to see it entirely by screen sharing. But what my proposition was, oh, sorry, actually, Raul, you wanted to.
No, I was just trying to give you a hand with the screen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks. So I took a look on the virtual type, and actually we do have the generic implementation for filters already in the Adobe Stock client, right? That is a simple filters class. That is not a virtual type, but it's basically providing the generic approach for adding filters. Do you understand what I'm talking about right now?
Yes, I remember that we have added a simple filters. Yes, I know. Yeah, we have added those for, I think, from the Adobe client side,
Yes, exactly.
Adobe
And
SDK side. Yes.
yeah, and that particular virtual type that is introduced here just reminded me a lot about that simple filters class that we use for client. And probably if we take a look at the simple filters class, we can use the same approach for these options, actually. So instead of providing the virtual type, we can provide the configuration for real class, right?
Yeah. I will take a look into that class, and if I found that we can reuse the same class, then I will make the changes in the same PR. Yeah, and
Yeah, because the thing is,
any questions?
the thing with virtual types is that usually you need a virtual type when you it's fair to introduce a virtual type if you, for some reason, need a lot of virtual types for the same class, right? For the same implementation with different configuration for each of virtual types. But in this case, we have different configuration within the same type, within the same virtual type. So in this case, we don't need to call it virtual type, right? We can just use this configuration with a real type. So virtual type in this case is just additional layer that probably can be omitted. So actually, what you have done in the pull request is a great thing to simplify the options, the providers of the options, and make it easier to configure and extend them. But I guess that the same thing can be used just with real type. What you need to do is just to remove the virtual type from here and use it with real type. Then that's it. That will work the same way.
Okay. I will look into that and make the changes in this PR. Okay. And yeah. Okay. Thanks. That's it. I think that's all of the pull requests which I have worked in the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Shankar. Okay, actually, one more thing to discuss, and a couple of pull requests I would like to show you that were created recently. So first of all, there is still one pull request that we are working on to merge to Magento 2 repository from Shankar, opened 26 days ago. Sorry, Shankar, for delays with processing. But
yeah, no worries.
The thing. Just I wanted to ask you, the CSS changes. You decided not to include the CSS changes here. Is it just because you want to include them in the Adobe Stock site, or because you can render the sort by component fine without any CSS changes and without Adobe Stock integration?
Yeah, sort by component. As I checked and found that we don't need any sort by component CSS, but I just found that we need to, as in Adobe Stock Integration, we have added the Adobe sort by component inside the I think listing filter part. So we need to add the CSS regarding the listing filter. So I don't think that we need to introduce that listing filter CSS in sort by component part. So that's why I said that it needs to be a part of Adobe Stock Integration instead of Magento repository. Because as we have discussed that we need to find the exact definition regarding the sort by component, which I talked about like 4 or 5 meetings ago, that I created a sort by whole UI component. Like you said, we need to verify the definitions and other stuff. So that's why I just added the sort by component simple, and all the CSS are regarding to the listing filter. So I think it should be a part of the Adobe Stock Integration instead of Magento 2. Though I will add the screenshot of the Magento sort by component adding in the Magento repository, in any Magento repository component like customer grid or sales order grid.
Oh, okay, I see. But the thing is that this sort by component can be used customly, right? On the custom grid, like one that I have in my organization. That one, for example, masonry grid example, that's just a custom grid, right? So if you can create the custom grid that is based on masonry grid and include the sorting component in this custom grid, the expectation is that any components that we are delivering to Magento 2 will work out of the box and will look. So we'll have all the styles will have the proper look out of the box in Magento 2. So in case we need to add some CSS styles for,
it will look exactly the like we seeing in the in our Adobe Stock Integration. Just like the positioning of the sort by component is beside, like I think the number of record found. I guess we are adding the sort by component beside the number of record found. So in the CSS is regarding the sort by component to add is basically the position of the sort by component where we need to add. So the other CSS are regarding those parts, like where you need to display the sort by component. So it should be included in Magento 2 or in the Adobe Stock Integration part.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. Thank you. I just told that just to be sure and to just in general to let you guys know. Maybe sort by will be not the only component that we will decide to add to Magento 2, and just for everybody to be on the same page. Thanks for that, Shankar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Also, I've seen we have some issues with the static test there. I don't know. I reported that we have some lack of information on JS tests. It displays just array instead of a specific error message. I will help with this one, but basically what can you do if you don't see the proper results for the static test on Magento 2? Temporary, while we are working on the fix for this problem, is just to run the test for this particular test on your local, and you'll see the proper error message with all the details.
I think that the configuration file for the testing is both are the different, like Commerce Edition, Enterprise Edition has a different testing file, and Basic Community Edition has different file. I guess the configuration for this static test.
Oh, maybe.
I think
but I think it might be the case, but I'm not sure. I think that if you will run this test locally on the Community Edition, you will get the same error. Might not be 100% true, but
I tested
99. You didn't?
Yeah. I tested that and I didn't get any error because I tested using the Node module, install the Node modules, all the Node modules, and run those tests, both the tests, and I didn't get any JavaScript error. So I
Oh,
thought
okay.
that it might be a different configuration file for both B2B and the Commerce Edition or Community Edition. Every instance has different configuration files.
Shouldn't be actually, but yeah, I'll check it and let you know what was the problem there. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Guys,
Okay, thanks.
one question regarding this test. Before, when we used to have the Travis build, it was possible to see the command that was being executed to execute each test. With Azure, is it possible to see the command that is being executed in the background to
The
reproduce these
logs,
tests in local? The logs.
right now it's not possible. It may be possible in future. Just I don't have any updates on this functionality right now. Yeah, but right now you can see only the results. If you have some issues, some problems, and you need to see the logs, I can see the logs, so you can still contact me and I can go and fetch logs for you. But there is no like automated thing to publish logs with the test results right now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Then, yes, so we went through the pull requests for some of them. There is also a pull request for extracting the media gallery integration and from the media gallery UI models, so that we'll have when this pull request will be merged, we'll have new module, but the media gallery UI or media gallery module will not have the need to be changed if in case we will switch off old media gallery completely. So there in future, for example, so there will be just a functionality of the media gallery in the media gallery module, and the way the media gallery is integrated into Magento functionality will be in a separate module. That module will basically contain two plugins that we have right now to rewrite the URL for media browser open dialog method.
Is that why that one is using Modman?
Oh, we use every module in Modman right now. So once we have a module, we add it to Modman to be able to install all the packages via Modman. So when the module is added, we need to update the Modman file and to add this module to the Modman file. Otherwise, when you run Modman clone, Modman update for the Adobe Stock Integration based on our installation guide, this module will not be so the module will not be copied to the symlink will not be created in this particular destination. This file is staying Modman, that the symlink from the module directory to the the symlink in app.code Magento Media Gallery integration to the module directory will be created. And there is another Modman file that has to be updated when we are adding modules. That is the root Modman file. That is basically importing all the modules. So we have to add the line for a new module here as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the instructions for Modman to install the modules. We do this for all the modules. Okay, and Yeah, Gabriel recently joined our project, and a couple of his PRs was merged, and now he also finally created the functionality to add the images from new media gallery to the content. The PR is still in the review, but I guess soon it can be merged, so we'll be able to we'll have the add selected button, and we'll be able to add images from new media gallery to the target elements. And one more interesting pull request that we recently created. It's not in the Adobe Stock Integration repository, but in the SDK repository. As you remember, when we were developing the Adobe Stock Integration, during the second milestone, we needed to get the information on files on the image by ID, and we figured out that Files API is not currently implemented in Adobe Stock SDK, the Stock API libphp package. So we had to implement the custom functionality on our site, on the Sidecar extension. But currently, Gabriel implemented implemented the entry point for Files API as part of Stock API libphp package. And after this pull request will be merged, we'll be able to use the the SDK functionality instead of the class that we have got. Instead of class with custom implementation, the only one custom client, that is Files client, that is performing call request to the Adobe Stock API instead of communicating to SDK and delegating the requests to SDK. And yeah, that is cool. We are improving the SDK as well. I guess that's it from my side. Any questions? Any other any feedback or any propositions from anybody? Okay. Yeah, finally, I would like to say that on the previous meeting, I said that we have switched the functional tests from the Travis to internal builds that are running on Jenkins and Magento. But I also noticed that I mentioned that some of the tests are not, MFTF tests are not stable right now, and some of them are not switched from the old media gallery precondition to new media gallery precondition. So right now, as we are running the internal functional tests on pull requests, the builds will fail until we stabilize the tests. So we can just ignore these tests for the pull requests while they are not stabilized. But if you would like to help with stabilizing the tests, just let me know. You can just open the pull request with just fixing a couple of MFTF tests that you can see are failing right now. It will be much easier on the internal builds than it is on Travis, because you can see much more detailed information on the test execution in the results, including the link screenshot and all the tests in a nice Allure results view. So yeah, I will be really happy if somebody will help a bit with the MFTF test stabilization. And thanks, guys, for participating. Thanks for your contribution. And talk to you offline and see you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good vacation. Have fun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.